Where was I? I was at Graceland 8 hours before he passed away. I'd been through some difficulties with drug rehab. I was a pretty wild teenage kid, and I was there at Graceland, and I relayed to him a young girl who was a member of Bellevue Baptist Church had been praying for me for a long time because she knew my life was a mess, and she talked with me, and I thanked her. I said, "Thanks for praying for me," and all that stuff. And I went upstairs and I told Elvis about it. And he looked at me and he said, "Ricky, those are the people that care, that talk to you." Now that surprises some people, the spiritual side, but as a minister, that's one of the most important things that I convey to people, is that Elvis had a great appreciation and love for the Lord. And that we had that conversation. I went downstairs, probably got high or took pills or something, and got up. My brother David came in. I said, we're supposed to get him up at 3 o'clock. I ran the Grazante's restaurant near Memphis. And before the food even got there, I said, I've got to get back to Graceland. I've got to get back. I didn't know what it was. I'd never had anything like that happen before. Never had a premonition, never anything. And so I just stood up, put the money on the table, and left. And then when I went through the gates, I saw that big ambulance. And then that's when I walked in, and the stretcher was coming down, and that's when Lisa Marie said, "Ricky, my daddy's dead." And I said, "That's not funny. I was just with your dad. You shouldn't kid around like that, Lisa." And she said, "Ricky, I'm not kidding you. Daddy's really dead." So I was there at Graceland when it happened, and the guilt, that I felt. What if I'd have checked on him one more time? It was incredible. I mean, he had told me, he said, "Rick, don't bother me. If I need you, I'll call you," which was code to me. He was going to spend some intimate time with Ginger. And contrary to what people say, on Christmas Eve of '76, I was there when he gave her the engagement ring. He was very serious about her. Now, a lot of people wanted to debate that, but I was there when he did it. But I thought he was going to spend some time with Ginger, and he didn't want to be interrupted, and there was going to be intimacy. So that's why I didn't bother him. But it lingered for a long time. It took me a long time to get over it. What if I'd have just went up one more time and to check on him? But I didn't. So it took quite a while to get over that.
Last time I saw Elvis alive was about 3 days before he passed away. I came up to Graceland to visit with Elvis, talking about a personal matter. We went up in his bedroom and had a great talk, and he told me he was getting ready to go on tour. And I told him what I was doing at that time, and 3 days later he passed away.
Tell me about the last time you saw him alive.
On the same day that he passed away. He had went to the Racket Club that day. At morning before I got there, him and Jenny and Billy Smith, they went to the Racket Club. And they come in after I had got there. Come in the house, and he says, I said, "How you doing this morning, Mr. Elvis?" He said, "I'm doing all right. I'm kind of tired and hot." I said, "Would you like some rubber?" We fixed some rubber. He said, "No, I don't want anything to eat. I just want some water." So we fixed some cold water, and the other maid taking it upstairs to him. He was in his office. So other than that, that was the last time I seen him.
Well, I know exactly where I was because August 16th is my birthday. The day Elvis passed away is my 19th birthday. So I was in boot camp, United States Marine Corps in San Diego, California, the day Elvis passed away on my 19th birthday. So I know exactly where I was and what I was doing. And like most people, you ask who were around that time, knew where they were, what they were doing when they heard about Elvis.
Okay, when I found out that Elvis had died, as soon as I heard, I had to tell my sister. I went home, told her, and I had to get the money for us to make the trip. We made the trip. We was almost to Memphis, and she wanted to turn around and go home, and I wouldn't let her go. I said, no, we come this far, we're going all the way. So when we got to Memphis, batteries was dead on the camera, and we went down and got the batteries to replace them in the camera so I could take pictures. And when we got back, we parked on the opposite side of the road, and that's when I met the girls. When I got outside the car, I stand at the back of the car, and I met the two girls that had been killed. And they walked right up to me and just started talking to me as if they'd known me. And we carried a conversation and turned around, and they went on their ways. And then I seen them as I walked out to go across the boulevard, take pictures. And I walked up, met them with the police officer. We started talking. And from there, things just happened.
Well, yeah, it's pretty emotional when I talk about it. I did it at a show last night. I have to kind of hold myself in because it was on my birthday, July the 5th, 1976. And we had just finished a tour, and the last date on that tour was at the Mid-South Coliseum here in Memphis. He did a great show. We went back out to the house in that white, long Lincoln limousine. We went in the front door, and he's going up the steps, got the towel around his neck, the jumpsuit still on, his sunglasses, and he always, when he came home from tour, when it ended, he always would just relax for 3 or 4 days, stay upstairs and read and relax and kind of wound down, you know, from the tour. And so I said, well, boss, I'll see you in a few days. He said, yeah, I'm gonna get some rest. He said, happy birthday, Sonny. And I said, thanks, Elvis. I said, you're gonna want some of that cake that Judy baked, my wife baked. He loved her cakes and pies. He says, oh yeah, Linda's gonna bring me up some. He was referring to Linda Thompson, his girlfriend at the time. And I said, okay. I said, well, just take care. He said, okay, see you. And that was it. The last time I spoke to him or saw him alive.
33 years ago, August 16th. I wasn't working for Elvis. I was working at the airport, but I was going to help him get ready to leave. So I was on the way to Graceland, but I stopped at a convenience store to get me a Coke. And when I was in there, it came on the radio, and I heard it, and I knew the guy that was the clerk there, and he did, because I froze. I mean, I couldn't believe what I heard. And he said my name 2 or 3 times pretty loud, and then I kind of came to, and he said, Billy, you need to call Graceland. So I walked out to the car in a phone booth and called Graceland, and I remember, it was probably one of the secretaries because it was a lady's voice and she was crying, and all I can remember saying is it true what I heard? She said, yes, you need to get up here as fast as you can. As soon as she said yes, I just dropped the phone. I turned around, walked out of the phone booth, and my world right then had just come to an end. That I knew it.